What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another reaction video. So in today's video I'm checking out Elvis and the black community. Okay guys, yes, can't wait to check this one out. Like I said, I've been enjoying watching these mini documentary about Elvis, guys. Can't wait to check this one out. So if you're new to the channel, guys, welcome, and I hope before you leave that you will subscribe. So let's jump into the video.
I thought he was a very beautiful, and still is, a very beautiful person, and his memory shall probably forever live on.
Well, you ain't nothing but a rabbit. You ain't no friend of mine. There is no room in this city for the vulgar performances of Elvis Presley.
It's shocking. I watched him gyrate his legs and swivel his hips. And our parent-teachers group feels he should not be on television.
We've set up a 20-man committee to do away with this vulgar, animalistic, nigger rock and roll bop. Our committee will...
This vulgar nigger rock and roll bop? What? So, what's going on here? So they actually saying that the type of music, the rock and roll music, is a nigger music. That's what Elvis was doing on stage and doing those rock and roll moves and stuff. It's nigger. Shocking.
check with the restaurant owners and the cafes to see what Presley records is on their machines, and then ask them to do away with them.
What?
You've learned anything from the criticism leveled at you?
No, I haven't.
You haven't, huh?
Because I don't feel that I'm doing anything wrong.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. The crying all the time.
Rock and roll has got to go. And go it does at KWK. We're all through playing rock and roll records. This week is record-breaking week here at KWK. And after this week, no more rock and roll will be played on the air.
The obscenity and vulgarity.
So it went that far that they actually started breaking up the records, rock and roll records, because they think it was that vulgar and inappropriate and stuff like that. Wow, this is interesting. Very.
The rock and roll music is obviously a means by which the white man and his children can be driven to the level with a nigger. It is obviously nigger music.
Everybody mostly turned him down. And because first thing, he had Negroes' ways. This is what they didn't, really at that time, they didn't want to accept.
By.
This is sad. I'm smiling, but I have to smile. But it's really sad to hear that it was like this, you know.
By black performers, and he, in essence, because of at that particular time the kind of backwards mental capability that many people had as judging a person because of the color of their skin, as somewhat still does exist, but back then it was worse. And he actually, because of him being a Caucasian brother, he was able to do away with that whole thing.
He's 77-year-old Early Wright, a disc jockey at radio station WROX in Clarksdale for 45 years.
Hi there. Pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How do you do? This is your soul man to be with you until I get through. I want you to stand by, don't have no fear. Following Jay's show, should I play one like this one from out of here? Elvis Presley.
Elvis's songs still get good play on Wright's program among the blues, gospel, and jazz recordings that are its staples. It was almost 40 years ago when Elvis drove down to Clarksdale from Memphis with a record and asked him to play it.
And I had been playing his record, and I had never seen him before, and I was amazed to see him. When he introduced himself to being Elvis Presley, then I went all the pieces over him. Then he and I started talking. I used to be the manager of a gospel group called the Four-Star Quartet. And I could listen to a man sing a hymn. I could listen to a man sometime talk. I did that. And I could pick him out whether he could fit in my group. And talking to Elvis Presley, I could see a great future in him.
It's no accident that Wright recognized Elvis's strong gospel roots. Here at the East Trigg Baptist Church in Memphis, older members of the congregation remember Elvis.
Wow, you know, talking to him, you could have seen a great future in him. It was no accident. He was great. He was meant to be great. And, you know, I love that he didn't let the lead him from what he believed, I know, and for standing up for who he think he is, who he know he is, not even think he is, who he know he is. And the fact that when he was on the phone, he said, I'm not doing anything wrong, which is right. He wasn't doing anything wrong, you know. He, in his eyes, he see everyone as equal, everyone as the same. So he didn't think he was doing anything wrong. You understand? And he loved rock and roll, and he loved that type of music. And at the same time, he was so godly, and he loved his gospel. Okay, you know. How can you not love Elvis? How can you not love Elvis? I don't know.
Joining in with the choir while in high school. These were rousing sessions led by the charismatic pastor, the Reverend W. Herbert Brewster.
Like most black people in the South, and to whose throat God has pressed down a harp of 1,000 strings, it only needed tuning. Elvis's voice was that type of voice that agreed with the thought of Calvary. He had that kind of bent and inclination and attitude that suggested that God could use him. I gave the music a different approach, a new beat. I knew that it wasn't going to hurt if I said, "Must Jesus bear the cross alone," whether I said with one beat, two beat, whether I said it high or low. And I told them, "Come on in here and put your stuff together." They came in here, and it was a glorious experience, and Elvis was in that group.
Elvis came out with a style of his own, and it was very creative. And once he got into it, and you got that feel, Elvis just took off like a late freight. And with Elvis doing this kind of music, gave an injection to black music that no other artist had ever done.
It was like an earthquake in my neighborhood. The whole place was shaking when he came on. And I said, how did a person possess that kind of power? That it even comes off the TV and grabbed me in this ghetto neighborhood.
Elvis took my Tutti Frutti, and I was very disgusted. But by him singing it, he really made it bigger and made me bigger.
During those days, if it was a white artist doing something, they would just say, they don't like our blacks and we don't like them either. He's nothing but a copycat. But Elvis Presley, when he came on, chicks were screaming and going crazy, and it was just like any other neighborhood. And I said, this guy's got something going, man.
Elvis had something that made him sound like he truly meant it. And that's what made a lot of people like myself like him.
I think Elvis had lots of soul. He appealed to black people. He definitely had to have soul in order to do that.
I think there's ever been an artist that when his name went on the marquee, they knew he was coming. People came from all over the world.
Oh yeah, he has a whole lot of soul. Okay, yeah, and I just love that. I love every aspect and every side of Elvis. Okay, when I first started doing Elvis, it was all about the music, and then afterwards, you know, after the first getting to know him documentary, it's like I just want to know like more and more, not only about his music and stuff like that. I just the person, Elvis, the person that he was. And it's just so very interested, you know, to find out all these things about him. Like, wow, it really, you know, moves your heart, you know. Yeah, I'm like, can I love this man anymore? Can I? Wow.
Never heard of that.
Elvis did a lot of stuff that, you know, rappers do these days.
He had the bling. You gotta have the bling when you're from Memphis.
He had the bling, you know, he had a Cadillac, you know, he had like a gangster in him. As the snow flies on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto.
The song also resonates with people who've only met Elvis through his songs.
Like was talking about the hood, you know, they're talking about where we come from.
Paul Beauregard and Jordan Houston are the Oscar-winning rap duo 3-6 Mafia. They grew up just 2 blocks from Graceland in one of Memphis's poorest neighborhoods.
I want a CD scratcher.
My mom used to always listen to this song when I was young. He talked about, you know, things that she went through. You know, she had like, you know, my mom had a bunch of kids, like 9 kids. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get somebody to listen to your song. You talk about what they know about and what they want to hear. And she knew about Ghetto because, you know, she lived in Ghetto.
In the ghetto.
That's it.
And his mama cries. But if there's one thing that she don't need, it's another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto.
After we find the part on the record that we want to use, we sample it into the drum machine or the keyboard. That way we can loop it like.
My first line says, first I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. It's still broke, so I'm sleeping on apartment floors.
Yeah, that song In the Ghetto. You're right. You know why so many black people gravitate to it, because it's singing about a lot of stuff that they know, that they go through. It's like it was their life, you know. Yeah, so I guess they actually gravitate to that song a lot. And whenever you hear it, it actually brings you to tears and leave you emotional, because you can actually relate to that song, you know.
So it's just like the struggle, you know, what's going on in the hood. First I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. It's still broke, so I'm sleeping on apartment floors. And I was off beat, but it's all good, because it's on TV. maybe do some edits, make me look cool, maybe put my name in the credits.
Once we have all that ready, you know, we load it into the drum machine and then pay out.
So he starts to roam the streets at night, and he learns how to steal, and he learns how to fight in the ghetto. Survival is an everyday task, watching your back for the man wearing the mask. I say you might get stuck if you in the hood looking like it came up.
Wow, I didn't know that they remix it in the Ghetto remix. I definitely have to check that out. Wow.
We ride old school whips, high off the ground, right beside a player hill. It ain't as bad as it seems. We still stay fly, looking so clean.
First I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. And still broke, cause I'm sleeping on apartment floors. The junkies get up, kick when they smoke a brick. I never seen a drug dealer ever call it quits. The hood struggle is to make you gotta get the change. See, every day is like a dark cloud full of rain.
I have to cut, because you know I can't play this song so much straight, and it's in the documentary straight, so I have to get a little cut because I don't want this video to be vlog, guys. So yeah.
Feds tapping for what's dangerous when you hood trapping, so don't get lost in the sauce slinging, cold crackling.
So help your brother along the way, no matter where he starts. But the same God that made you made him too. These men with broken hearts.
During the 60s and early 70s, when tensions between black...
The same God who made you made him to help your brother along the way. Wow. Goosebump. I didn't even know that they did a remix to In the Ghetto. I have to check this out. Didn't know that 3-6 Mafia did that. Wow.
Blacks and whites were at an all-time high. Elvis demonstrated his desire for racial reconciliation in the musicians that he chose and the treatment they received.
When we first decided to take the gig with Elvis, we had no idea that there would be any racial flack regarding it. Our first racial encounter was when we went to Texas. Elvis was told by his people that, well, you can leave the black girls home. You don't have to bring them. So Elvis wasn't going to do the Astrodome unless his girls could be with him. And he demanded that we be given the star treatment. We had to be in our convertible where everybody could see us, and our little blonde could drive us. And that was his statement. You don't like it? Deal with it, or I'm not going to be there. And I thought that was very big of him.
When I joined the group in 1972, they took a big chance because there were no blacks in contemporary or Southern gospel music, and I was the first one, and it made all the headlines and everything. It was in Billboard and all the newspapers in Tennessee. And my first time meeting Elvis was, he had a folder full of clippings of things that he had read about me. As a matter of fact, the Imperials brought me to his suite, and he gave me this folder with all the clippings, and he personally welcomed me into the family. And for a guy who, you know, didn't really know where he stood, this was very important, that he acknowledged my presence and, you know, made me feel very much a part of what we were all doing. And right away, he treated me like he'd known me for years. He gave me one of those TC.
Wow, Elvis, what a man he was, guys. Wow, I'm sitting here and I'm so touched, goosebump, like, to know how much he would stand up for his backup singers. He didn't see color, and that was so beautiful. He didn't see color, he just see human. That's all he see, human, not color, guys. Wow.
Chains and everything, and I was just one of the guys, and I never forgot that.
And I'd been around him with other people of color, and I've only seen him give love. He was very generous to people that he didn't even know. You didn't have to be of any racial persuasion for him to love you.
And you know how rumors get started when there's a big star or something. The people will start rumors. Well, he doesn't like this kind of people, or he doesn't like those people or that people. And I never got that from him.
But you know, Elvis is a whole nother thing. It's just, I think it's scary to even be compared to people in that, like, you know, I mean, because he's such a big talent, and in his absence, of course, he's bigger than in his presence. And music marks time, so in this time period, what Elvis was to his period would be something totally different. Well, I think rock and roll, I mean, what he brought to Vegas is more than rock and roll. I mean, I think it's just so much going on out here on the entertainment front. Like right now, you'll see the likes of Celine Dion and Tony Braxton. It's a lot going out here. You know what I mean? As far as rock and roll is concerned, it's great. I mean, Elvis Presley was able to do things that haven't been able to be duplicated to this day.
Black American music influenced Elvis. The fact that people say, well, he's the king of it all, king of rock and roll.
No, that is true. He has done things that's not been able to duplicate it up to now, and to think how then to now, and it's like each year is like you find more and more people gravitating to him and his music and his legacy and wanting to know more, and you know, hang up on him, because what he was then and now, it's like it keep growing, it keep getting bigger, you know, and I just love that.
Say, well, he's the king of it all, king of rock and roll. It's a slap in the face to those that made the music possible in the first place. Not to say he wasn't brilliant. I think he was a fantastic, talented singer.
I don't think he ripped them off. I think once something has been exposed, anyone can add or take from it if they like. He was just so great, so popular, so hot, so anything that he played, it became a hit. To me, they didn't make a mistake when they called him the king.
The only thing I want to know, was he my friend? Did I enjoy him as a performer? Did he give the world of entertainment something? Yes, on all counts. And that's the name of that tune.
He was a bundle of energy set to music. And that echo will never die.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Ball of energy that was set to music, and that echo will never die. I truly believe that, no doubt, guys. So like, I know a lot of them say that he steal the music from the black people, the rock and roll and all of that, but I don't think it was like him wanting to steal the music. I think he was just, to me, what I really think it was like, to him, he maybe feel like if he does over back a black person song, it will get more light, more exposure than what a black person was getting in those days. And I think that would bring more light to the original singer and the artist, because they would know like, oh, it came from this person, it came from that person. Maybe more people would listen to the black person's original music or their version of it. Okay, like one person said he didn't think he was stealing it. It was because of the more popularity that he had. So maybe if he forecast it will be more out there, I know, and bring more light to their music. Just like Richard said it, at first he was mad, but hey, it bring more exposure to him, and it let his song be more popular. Yeah, it let his song be more popular, and I thought back then, like everyone does everyone's song. Even now, a lot of people remix people's song and does people's song a lot too, so I didn't see anything wrong with that. So that's my opinion. Okay, guys, everyone that don't agree with me, you don't have to come for me or be me. That's just what I think. I'm just putting out what I think. All right, guys, and it's good to each his own and to have different opinions. Nothing wrong with that. You just don't have to be mean about it. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy this, because I surely did, and I learned even more, and I appreciate him even more. I just love me some Elvis. All right, so I'll catch you all in the next reaction video, guys. Thank you all for watching. Bye.